Do I do this?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
You're the man.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to What a Waste podcast. Once again, it's your intrepid host, Tyler Horvath, and
Lucia Whalen.
we're back, baby. We've been on a little hiatus. Things have been touch and go, but back here we are.
I got a sweater vest.
She got a sweater vest and didn't tell me that it was this green at the exact same color.
Yeah.
Everything in her house is green. It's actually insane. This is the oldest pillow I've ever seen in my life.
I don't understand why it seems old to you. Is it stained on the back?
I think it is a stain. I think the whole thing is a stain.
That's actually possible.
That
pillows come with me.
It looks older than sleep.
That pillow has seen some dark times for sure.
Yeah, dude.
That pillow has seen some things that no people want to see.
This was held during like an acid trip in like when acid was
during
invented.
the worst mushroom trip that turned me sober. That
really?
pillow was along for the ride.
Well, I'm glad to have it here with us. Thank you for sticking with us, guys. I'm sorry for the delay in the new episodes. We've had a lot of uncertainty in our lives, and
sort of like the climate.
We know that you'll forgive us for that, but we're back, and it's good to see you, Lush. I feel like we haven't seen each other in years.
I know, we saw each other last night, but it has emotionally felt like a long time.
Other than that,
we haven't checked in a while.
Yeah, you were just in your notes. I was like, hey.
I know, yeah, I wasn't connecting.
No, that's good, though. You got to be working on your craft.
Yeah.
So we are at our
fourth location.
Fourth locale for this little podcast of ours.
Not sure if it's good or bad for the algorithm, but
yeah, we're gonna make it work. We have a lot of uncertainty in our lives. Lucia is constantly getting a new job and terrified and stressed about it, and I am moving to New York at some point. My move date keeps getting pushed back, but I'm leaving. But we are going to record a few here in the next few weeks. Make sure we have some content for you guys, and it's an exciting time, right?
Yeah, we're addicted to change.
Yeah, you can't stagnate, you know? Be like a river, not a puddle, you know what I mean?
So true.
You ever fucking heard that one?
That was amazing.
I just get really hostile. That's a funny thing to be really hostile about, like enlightenment.
Do you have any jokes about tributaries?
No, I don't think anyone does.
Okay.
Do you?
No, but I want to write one.
Oh. You're running.
We haven't actually talked in a while, so this is a warm-up episode.
It's a little strange,
yeah.
But we are here. And, I mean, how have you been in general, except for your new job every 3 weeks?
I've been great. I took... I don't think we've sat down since like pre-July. I took a vacation to the Jersey Shore, saw my family, had a great time, lots of sun.
For some reason I didn't know that did all your family go vacation there, or are they from there?
My dad's side is all on the East Coast, so I went with my cousins and my aunts and uncles.
Okay.
That was great. Loved it. Have been living my life, playing lots of sports, I'm on a basketball team, volleyball team.
This is
biking constantly.
News to me.
Yeah.
How are you finding the bike? Have you gotten doored?
No.
Has the universe paid you back for dooring someone?
No. I love biking.
Yeah, that's great. I've been on a divvy a lot of times this month.
Electric or regular?
I go electric.
Yeah, the regular feel like biking a car around. It's so heavy.
Yeah. I think they do that on purpose, but it's I got a new scooter joke. I don't know if you heard it. I'll tell you after. But there's more and more scooters around now too in Chicago. The electric scooters.
There are, yeah. Wait, are you talking about the stand-up ones or the sit-down?
Both, but the stand-up ones mostly. I've seen.
I do want to get a Vespa.
Yeah.
TBD.
Right.
I've been talking about this for years.
Yeah. Probably happen soon.
This is no one cares.
We're warming up, folks.
We're warming up.
Well, hey, should we get into it?
Let's get into it.
What the hell are we talking about?
This is going to be a heavy one.
Great. Perfect for when we're rusty.
This is a real educational one.
Okay. Let's get into it.
Okay. if you are, this is very topical. We're going to be talking about the fires in Maui.
Okay, yeah.
If you're an alien and haven't looked at the news,
I know that it happened. I have no idea.
Actually, this is something that we should be including in our episodes because it's also topical. There might be aliens listening to our podcast now. And if you are, please rate and review.
Rate, review, subscribe. We need to send this podcast out as far as it can go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see Gloopodon on our Spotify location.
It's not a bad first try at
Yeah.
a alien
Planet
name.
The galaxy Gloopodon.
Yeah, I mean, this in the same way that like it's been hard to list the same like feeling in my life is when we're unable to do the podcast or whatever, when there's like just general busyness in my life, I just tune out the news.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So
it feels like too much.
I have known that this was going on, but I really know nothing about it. I know that it's bad. I saw people just like wading in the ocean, just like smoke everywhere and shit. But I mean, it sounds horrific, but
there have been a lot of, so this is an issue. We're going to be talking about colonialism. We're going to be talking about climate change, invasive species,
the big three.
I do the same thing when life gets really overwhelming. I want to listen to more music and listen to less news. Like I just want to sing.
Okay.
but I think not reading the news makes me feel less connected because it like isolates you more from, the news takes me outside myself. Even if the news is overwhelming, I still at least feel connected to what's going on in the world. And I think when I'm busy and stressed out, I'm like, I just
self-involved.
It's self-involved.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I was thinking about that today because I just started that book that we were talking about earlier, The Lathe of Heaven. I think is that how you pronounce lathe?
Yeah.
Lathe of Heaven by Ursula K. Le Guin. And having a book that I'm like interested in is helping me a lot. Just get out of my head just enough to go like, oh shit, I've been like just on autopilot in a lot of different ways. Because when just life is overwhelming, because like all this moving shit and uncertainty and all this, and I'm just like overwhelmed and I just deal with anything that's coming up as it comes up. But I think you're right that when you are connected to like the world and what's going on in it, it can be overwhelming and makes things worse. I'm sure it's different for everybody, but yeah, I always feel better when I start to like plug back in a little bit, even though it's never good stuff. It's
never good, but it keeps your brain, it's learning. It's different ways of learning. I do the same thing. Reading makes me feel so much better.
Yeah, totally. Get out of your own head is the fucking message here.
Get out of your own head. Yes, there have been a lot. Honestly, I didn't know much about the wildfires until I wrote this episode because there have been a lot of little infographics and things like that, but in terms of it's just overwhelming. Instagram's the worst way to consume news because everyone will post something really big that's going on and then you're like, oh, I need to know about this thing, but all it is like video snippets of the thing that's happening, and it's sometimes too overwhelming, I think, especially through Instagram, to actually get the information and context.
Yeah, I'm on the verge of getting rid of Instagram.
Well,
not being on it, but getting it off my phone. You know, like downloading it to post new stuff, or just doing it on. I mean, I have to have it somewhere. It's easy to download, but yeah, just having it on my phone and having it so easy to just go on and just scroll reels and whatever. Same thing that people do with TikTok. But I do feel like TikTok is more useful.
It's more educational. Honestly, I go on and
my girlfriend, I'm saying my girlfriend, but Sally is like she learns shit on there.
Oh
like,
yeah,
she'll come to me and be like, I saw this interesting thing on TikTok, and then at first I would just roll my eyes, and then now it's like, oh, that is interesting. Like,
the only recipe
she's found her little.
I'm
her
mostly
niches.
on Recipe Talk and Book Talk. I get book recommendations.
Yeah.
Smoothie Talk.
Okay.
Supplement Talk.
All right.
And attachment style talk.
Not the catchiest talks of all time. I gotta say, the names need some work, and also you need work, but I'm glad that you're having fun.
I love it.
I'm glad that you're learning.
But it is a waste of time. It's actually more dangerous that it feels useful because it's still putting your brain. I'm still the videos that are actually, if it's a video longer than 2 minutes, I can't listen to it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a long form guy.
I'll do videos.
For videos, yeah. I mean, here's what I'll do. This is when I'm in my worst spot with social media is I'll put a podcast or something on either through like a podcast app or through YouTube that I have premium so I can go to other apps while I'm listening to it. And then I will open Instagram and just start scrolling reels. And so now I'm like listening to something that is not related to this thing and getting a new whole visual world.
Yeah, how could you be anxious?
3 seconds. Yeah, exactly. I mean, after 20 minutes of that, I'm having a panic attack and I'm going, I don't know what's going on here. Yeah. And I'm like, so that's why I'm on the verge of like getting rid of it.
Well, it's just like, I'm really trying to read more. And
yeah, you have 500 books on the table.
I love books.
Yeah.
It gives me gives me a reminder to be reading. But yeah.
Here's all the shit that you have not done.
But yeah, I am definitely concerned about my memory also. So all this to say, there are multiple there have been wildfires in Maui.
Yeah, don't learn about it on Instagram.
Learn about it.
It's the through line.
Through us. Okay, so a lot of the information that I'm getting, it's from multiple places. The first place that I'm going to be talking about is Mother Jones is my source. I want to shout out Henry Carnell, who's a writer at Mother Jones. So if you know nothing about what's going on, here's a quick backstory. Multiple wildfires have been burning in West Maui since the evening of August 8th, 2023. So that was last week. And if you're listening now, that's a few weeks ago. Lahaina is the most... Lahaina. I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah. Lahaina is a movie.
Okay, we're going to have to edit because I'm absolutely not. We did this with the train episode.
What?
And I was saying the name of it wrong. And then afterwards...
The name of the train?
No, of the city that it was in.
You don't have to edit this. This is hilarious. That...
oh my God, so it was such a good episode. Here we go.
Are you going to... Well, hold it to the mic.
Lahaina, Hawaii.
Yeah. Lahaina.
Oh, God. What an amazing world we live in. Okay. Lahaina is the most impacted area on the island. It's a historic whaling village and former capital / original capital of the Hawaiian Kingdom. It's the deadliest wildfire in United States history, with at least 2,500 acres burned. At this point, 111 people dead, a lot of elderly people. And last week, there were thousands of people without power. So in the lead up to it, the National Weather Service employees in Honolulu had been sending out ominous alerts about powerful estuary gusts whipped up by Hurricane Dora, which was passing 500 miles to the south. And then they hit Maui when there was... Estuary gusts. They hit Maui, which has been in severe drought. And they don't know exactly what the cause is, but they think it probably started through power lines that started the fire. But one huge issue of how it spread is probably through non-native grasses. So we're going to come back to that as an issue of colonialism. And yeah, the hurricane-stoked winds were also a major issue.
So it took some sort of spark, but the underlying conditions were just there already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have been contained easier if there weren't, well, it was drought conditions, non-native grasses, and the way the island, the ecosystem on the island as of now, because it used to be a wetland, actually. And yeah, and now it's dry as a bone.
That's hilarious.
So as of today, 89% of the fires are contained. Roads have started to reopen. Electricity's back on for most people. But the State Department or the Department of Health is cautioning residents about returning to the Lahaina area because, so this is important to think about.
So it's still burning or not burning still?
89% of the fires are contained. So like only a small area. I think in the central Lahaina, the fires are done, but now there are all these cancer-causing chemicals like asbestos and arsenic and lead and debris and broken glass and exposed electrical wire, like everything that happens in the wake of a fire, which you don't always think about.
I almost never think about that.
Buildings can collapse. People have lost their IDs and like belongings, so they're having to recover basic things like their IDs. And also the water's not safe to drink even if it's boiled. So
Jesus Christ. So it's pretty chill there at the moment.
Everything's chill. Everything's fine.
Jesus.
So let's talk about colonialism.
Yeah, my favorite topic.
Okay, so a brief history of Lahaina. Do you know much about the Hawaiian?
No, I know nothing about it.
Okay. So I'm just going to go through a very quick history. I'm going to be jumping over a lot of probably important things, but the important pieces to know about the history of Hawaiian colonization is the Polynesian settlement happened before Europeans ever contacted Hawaii. About 1,500 years ago, Polynesian voyagers came in and they established a society with its own culture, governance, and economy. Europeans came in 1778, Captain James Cook, and that was like the beginning of Hawaii interacting with the Western world. Mm-hmm. Fun fact about James Cook is his early interactions with the Hawaiian people were friendly, but their tensions escalated, leading to his death in a violent encounter.
That is a fun fact. So what did he... So no more details on that?
No more details. Oh, no, I've got more details. If you want to know more about him.
Well, what did he... What? So he started to try to fuck with them or something, and then they...
He came for scientific exploration to chart and map previously unexplored parts of the Pacific.
Right.
And to learn about the cultures of the Pacific. And in doing so, he landed there and, was being a colonizer.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
And they got rid of him.
Okay. So then,
good for them.
After European contact, this is really where like the colonizing started, was the missionary period. So in the early 19th century, American missionaries arrived in Hawaii, including Lahaina, with the intent to convert the Hawaiian population to Christianity and introduce Western education.
Imagine
values.
how fucking annoying those people must have been.
So basically what happened was on the East Coast, there were a lot of missionaries stationed who wanted to come to Hawaii to convert Hawaiians to Christian culture. So they came from the East Coast and basically just like started inserting super Puritan values into and also like changing architecture and introducing like very Western architecture and housing and clothing, and like tried to prohibit alcohol. We talked about this in a previous episode, where sort of the funny part about that was at the same time whalers were coming in, because Hawaii was a big port for whaling, and so then like the horniest sailors you can imagine were coming in at the same time.
That there's Puritans were there?
Yeah, and they were like, listen, we're having sex and
that
we're
sounds
drinking.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just stuck on that. The missionaries going anywhere must have been annoying people. Like, they show up to a place that doesn't want them, and then they go, I'm going to save you with these ideas. And think of how annoying like evangelist people are now. Like your friend who... Like a friend who tries to convert you to something, like, even any idea, but especially like a religious idea. Yeah. Like, imagine that, but on such a like almost industrial scale.
And the fate of, because they were so convinced of the importance of what they were doing.
Yeah.
Sort of like how I talk to people about magnesium.
Yeah.
But imagine that on a
yeah.
on
Right.
a much
I mean,
grander scale.
But that's the thing is that what's great about you is that you do have a sense of humor. So if I knock your knees out about something that you're evangelizing about,
Yeah, I'm not evangelizing about the fate of our souls.
no, you're good. Yeah, but and in Hawaii especially, where they were just like they had this absolute paradise and they were just living, to have like these fucking buttoned up idiots come in and be like, you guys are fucking sinners. Like how. Oh, well, maybe the most annoying
they also had
people
like
of all
their
time.
own royal structures, like.
Yeah.
So this basically was the domino that first fell that led to the government overthrow of Hawaii. So at the same time, the whaling industry came in. That was the 19th century. They were using Lahaina's harbors, so that introduced more people to Hawaii, and then it was annexed by the United States in 1893 when American and European businessmen supported by U.S. Marines overthrew the Hawaiian monarchy in what is known as the overthrow of the Kingdom of Hawaii. This led to a provisional government being established with strong ties to the United States. So just a reminder, Hawaii wasn't always part of the United States. We did overthrow them.
What year was
pretty
that?
Recently, in 1893. And then in 1898, Hawaii was officially annexed by the United States and became a U.S. territory.
And by the way, that's what we've done to entire countries since, but it's just not acceptable to annex them anymore.
Yeah.
So we just do that same playbook all through Central America, Africa, Middle East. That's what we've been doing, but it's too much trouble to annex it now.
Yeah,
because they're just
it's
little
just sort
too
of politically
powerful
incorrect to annex.
Yeah, I mean it's geopolitically unsustainable.
Yeah,
because everybody gets too pissed off. The stakes get a little too high, but we still do that exact same thing.
Yeah,
we were able to annex Hawaii probably because the scales were just so ridiculously tipped in our favor, probably. So yeah.
Yep. So that was the annexation. And then statehood, it was admitted as the 50th state in 1959. And then throughout these periods, there was a lot of colonization, and traditional practices were suppressed, and aspects of Western culture were introduced. Of course, like then tourists, the tourist industry came and taking advantage, white people moving in and further suppressing culture. So, I was listening to one of the Beach Boys albums with some friends on a trip recently, and it was like funny to listen to their music because they literally every song is just about surfing. It's like how they say surf in every song. It's like how did you make this
into
career?
A career?
Yeah, but it did create a mood. But it was things like that, like where California was like really. There was like a mythos created about California, and that same mythos was like about Hawaii and the beauty of Hawaii and the surf culture and Americans going over there.
Little oasis.
Yeah. So just a little bit more historical context. So Lahaina is where King Kamehameha. Oh no. Can we cut this out?
No, you're allowed to be wrong about pronunciation.
Okay. King Kamehameha the Third had his royal residence and unified Hawaii under a single kingdom by defeating the other islands'
Is that where Dragon Ball Z got it?
Is there a king?
That's in Dragon Ball Z. That's what he says when he shoots his like laser. He says Kamehameha.
Really?
When he shoots he goes Kamehameha, and he shoots like energy beam out of his hands and they go like this.
Can you look that up?
Whether it's
the historical origins of Dragon Ball Z.
Just Dragon Ball Z. But I mean, that's probably where they got it from. He's like, that's not my fucking job, dude. No. I think she just asked you about whether that is actually connected.
We'll look that up. Okay, so many Hawaiians still recognize it as the original capital even after it was moved to Honolulu. So Lahaina is like a very significant place historically, culturally, in Hawaii.
Yeah. I do know a little bit about Hawaii just because of my childhood obsession with volcanoes. Because of Mount Kilauea, which I'm also probably pronouncing incorrectly, but the I don't know if it still is this, but when I was young, it was the longest continuously active volcano on the earth.
Which island was it on?
I don't remember, but it's just constantly erupting and spewing lava out into the ocean and building more island constantly.
So cool.
It's wild. Yeah. I was obsessed. I got to bring that volcano joke back. Do you remember that?
I do.
I got to bring that back.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good environmental joke.
I got to work on it.
Okay, so the area changed dramatically with the coming of American colonization and capitalism to the island of Maui in the 19th century. Sugarcane companies came in. They were diverting waters for irrigation. They created monocrops and they changed the landscape.
I just want, if we do cut that first try, just know that was the second try. And that's what we got to. And they... Yeah.
Okay, so basically
I got no room to talk shit. I never do any of the
research. It's so funny for you, funny guy over here.
It's kind of my role, but
okay, just something to keep in mind with Lahaina being this like cultural hub. So it does hold a lot of some of the most historically significant cultural properties and sacred remains of the ancestors who originally lived there, and fires came in. So fires destroyed historic Front Street in Lahaina, where a cultural center held many of these artifacts like feather capes and helmets, implements, maps, and documents.
Oh, brutal.
Okay, so environmental factors. Pre-colonial Lahaina was a wetland ecosystem abundant with life and that's one of the reasons it was chosen for the royal residence. But in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, white-owned sugar plantations started to illegally divert water to their crops, drying up the wetlands. The fires are especially horrifying because Hawaii is not a natural fire ecosystem and has not evolved to rebound after wildfires because it was originally a wetland. So preliminary studies suggest that climate change is partly to blame since the intense winds of Hurricane Dora traveled hundreds of miles to reach the island. And they're just as a reminder of how climate change works, there are increased number of hurricanes because warm air holds more water.
Isn't it a typhoon in the Pacific?
This says hurricane.
Interesting.
And so another major cause of all of this, like I said earlier, was non-native grasses that have taken over parts of the island. So these invasive species like guinea grass were introduced to Hawaii by 19th century settlers who forcibly shifted the land away from indigenous resource management practices and towards large-scale agriculture such as cattle ranching and plantations like the Dole Pineapple Company. The plantations were then abandoned, allowing the non-native
Pineapple
grass...
sucks.
I mean, I don't agree with that, but... plantations were then abandoned, allowing the non-native grass to spread from their bounds. The fire problem is mostly attributable to the vast extents of non-native grasslands left unmanaged by large landowners as we've entered a post-plantation era starting around the 1990s.
So they dried everything up, and then it became economically unviable to continue doing those monocrops, and then people just let it grow as it is.
Yeah, or just plantations. Yes. Yes. And, just plantations also will shut down. So the number of wildfires Hawaii experienced rose drastically in the same era in the 90s. So this is a big issue with colonization is when people come in from other places, they often bring plants from their native homes and they become invasive in the new, like the ecosystems aren't developed to host them.
Yeah. So in this instance, it was a fucking grass.
Yeah, it was grass. It was really dry grass.
And that's, how many years ago did that start? It must have been...
Well...
with the colonialism.
Yeah, this was the 19th century.
Hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
All culminating in this shit.
Yeah, so a 2021 study said that large-scale monocropping led to the rapid loss and degradation of native ecosystems through increasing dominance by non-native plants. And these plants have contributed to the frequency and strength of fires, but plants native to Hawaii have been shown to be beneficial in limiting wildfires. So...
Yeah, it's not like some old growth forest that just needs to burn down every once in a while. So they're thinking that it's gonna be really hard to bounce back ecologically because it's not ready for that.
Yeah. So this takes me to the next thing. So one of the big concerns now post fire is big land developers coming in and seeing the charred land as an opportunity to rebuild, to add more hotels and resorts. And they're already
disaster capitalism.
Yeah,
shock doctrine.
They're already predatory land grabs. So members of the Lahaina community have been contacted by realtors asking to buy their burned up property, and the Office of the Governor of Hawaii released a statement warning Maui residents about predatory buyers trying to capitalize on their fear and the financial uncertainty for those who have lost their homes. And this is already it's feeding into a bigger housing issue that Hawaii natives face because modest starter homes in the early 2000s now sell for $1 million. So because Americans come in from the mainland and have more money, they buy homes at a higher price, forcing out natives.
That old chestnut. Yeah, Jesus Christ. That is one of the craziest things that I learned when I learned about it. I don't know. I guess when that book came out, but the Naomi Klein shock doctrine shit, where anytime there is something like this, there are companies that are poised to take advantage of it and will end up make no mistake, they will do this. They will find people that are desperate, and those people will sell their land, and then they'll put up stuff that's going to make them millions of dollars. That happens in every place where some shit like this happens, especially this one is even crazier because this is a place where everyone wants to go all the time. It's much more, I don't know, than the earthquake in, Haiti or whatever, whereas they definitely did that. And companies were like, we'll help you with your electric supply, but we're going to take this exclusive contract from the U.S. government to, or from whatever to do it. And then it's but here they'll just be able to just build just resorts that are just 100% going to be making them millions of dollars.
Yeah, realtors, maybe let's stop seeing the silver lining out of all situations.
Yeah. Hey guys, let's get a little pessimism in the real estate business. Maybe a bear market for once.
So,
Jesus. Well,
so one more interesting thing, or just important thing, I guess, is that this is how colonialism has worsened climate change. I think I've been saying colonization and not colonialism.
No, you've been saying colonialism.
I think I've been saying colonization. Whatever.
Nope, I was here the whole time.
Okay.
I heard you.
So in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, in their 6th report, it says that colonized areas are more likely to face worse climate disasters, and there's a direct connection between environmental damage and robbing indigenous communities of their land. And it's a mindset too. So instead of treating the earth like a precious entity that gives us life, Western colonial legacies operate within a paradigm that assumes that they can extract its natural resources as much as they want and the earth will regenerate itself.
Well, no, it's not even that second part. It's just the first part.
Yeah.
We have a right to everything else, and we don't mind what happens after. Yeah, I mean, it's fucking Avatar, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, one amazing thing about that, the first one, I didn't even see the second one yet, but just that is that they got Americans to like cheer for.
Yeah, that's true.
Like an obvious surrogate of America, losing in the film.
Yeah.
Which is
I've never thought about that.
Which is very good.
I've fallen asleep
the Marine
every time
gets fucking
I've watched it.
Yeah. You never watched the whole thing?
No.
Oh, interesting. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. The change has to be so broad and systemic that it's like I don't even know where to go with that.
This gets down to the important point also of like when you colonize another country, you don't know the proper practices for the land. So like indigenous people know how to work with the land, and like we white people just came in and tried to apply. I'm sure they like tried to apply all the practices that they knew, and it doesn't apply. And you can't just bring in non-native plants and expect them.
It's yeah. There's always like a butterfly effect.
It's so true. So yeah, this one was heavy. But sort of like the train derailment.
This is our comedy podcast.
It's like the train derailment one, it's good to get all the facts in one place.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know
any of that stuff. And the history of Hawaii, like we're just not taught this. I went to last winter. There was a bookstore by my house, and they have like a colonialism book club. And we read, I can't remember what it's called. Of course
you joined that.
Yeah. It was nice to feel stupid, honestly. I was the stupidest person.
Was it the Judd Apatow book that you have
there?
Yeah,
we read a Judd Apatow book. Oh, no, it was that one, Unfamiliar Fishes.
Welcome to the pro-colonialist book club.
If you want to learn more about this, Unfamiliar Fishes by Sarah Vowell is really good, and it's all about the history of the missionaries and then the history of Hawaii, and I just didn't know anything about it because I really don't know. I haven't done my due diligence to really learn about what the United States does to
other countries.
Ooh. And
I'll send you some fucking Chomsky.
Yeah, no, please do.
It's not good. I'll give you forewarning. It's not good. But no, that is really the playbook. Is go in there with industry, take everything out. That's it. I mean, annex it back in the day, but now it's just take everything out and then slowly back away.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the playbook. And if there's a person in charge that's that won't play ball, you just kill them or somehow depose them, and then you install someone that's more to your liking, and then you do the thing that you wanted to do in the first place. So
sounds like you know how to colonize pretty well, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, you're asking me about my expertise. So the things that I do in my daily life. This is what I do to countries that I come across single-handedly. Yeah, this was a heavy one.
You're getting canceled for that.
Yeah, it's pretty plausible that I would have. I'm responsible for most colonialism.
Well, I hope you liked it. I'm sort of bummed out.
Yeah, this is a bummer of an episode, but we are back, so that's nice. And yeah, I mean, I guess this one will come out quick because we need it to.
Yeah.
So this one will come out fast. We'll have some more coming out shortly thereafter. We're back, baby. Share with your friends.
We're back.
This is the first one back, and it's in response to a horrific news event. So most of the time we have a little more fun.
Most of the time we have a little more fun, but sometimes we don't deserve fun.
No, sometimes it's just not great news, and that's what the podcast is sometimes. So come along for the ride.
I'm also hungry.
Yeah, it's also late, and we love you guys, and thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Tell 3 friends again about the podcast this week. YouTube,
I sent
Instagram.
you that one review we got, right? That it was like, honestly,
I don't think so.
it said like, honestly, I'm mostly writing this because it seems like they really need.
It's called a plug. That's just what you do. It's not out of desperation.
I really want to know who it was.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back in the next couple of weeks here. We love you.
Wait, I'm gonna read this in case. Truthfully, I'm only here because the host said they need more reviews. But
well, thank you for following through, whoever you are.
Super informative and hilarious pod by hilarious humans. Thank you, Jojo Laserbeam.
What is it?
Jojo Laserbeam.
Jojo Laserbeam. Shout out. Thank you.
Amazing.
Share with some more friends, Jojo, and everyone else. And thank you again. And we love you. And stay safe out there.
Bye-bye.
Bye.